Hey ladies, this is Mocha Mommy here bringing you another video. And in this video, I want to really talk about advice. Having young adult daughters, having subordinates, and even just younger women in general who ask you for advice. What I find myself doing is taking a step back and making sure I'm really, really listening, because sometimes they're asking for one of three things, and maybe a combination of the three. One, are you looking for me to co-sign on a plan or an idea you already have made up your mind about and you just need somebody to co-sign on it? Two, do you really want to be told what to do so you don't have to take responsibility for the fallout or the repercussions of the decision? Or three, have you already made a decision and you want to draw me in so that I can help you to manage the consequences or deal with the fallout as a result of that decision? So those are the three things that I've noticed. And I'm in no position to tell anybody what to do, maybe except for my daughters to an extent. But I'm really in no position to tell anyone what to do. But I would say what I would do if I were in your shoes. And here I'm just going to bring up a few young women or scenarios where if I were in their shoes, what I would do. One woman who, if I were in her shoes, I would make a lot of different life-altering decisions would be Megan Thee Stallion. Now, when it came to her situation with Tory Lanez and the shooting, that 2-year ordeal that she's been through, Tory Lanez had a lot of people caping for him. You know who's not caping for him? Black gun rights advocates. Because we know that if you're there with a firearm that's registered to you that you're not licensed to carry in that state, you woke up in the morning wrong. Okay, you woke up in the morning, your head got up off the pillow and you was already not abiding by the laws of that state. So we already knew that he was wrong. Number two, the accidental discharge of five rounds. Listen, even in basic training in the military, you don't see a soldier who's never held a weapon before accidentally discharge 5 rounds. That's ridiculous. So a lot of black gun owners ain't never caped for Tory Lanez. So he was already in trouble. And then that's never been a part of the discussion that's in the spaces where Megan Thee Stallion typically tends to circulate, the blogs, the hip hop community. If that's never part of the discussion, that just goes to show that that's not your community, okay? You do not need to be around any of these hip hop guys anymore. Like any of the hip hop blogs don't deserve anything from you. You don't deserve to put out any more music or perform. You should take your business elsewhere, okay? Megan Thee Stallion did a fantastic job on Saturday Night Live and had lots of other opportunities that had come at her as a result of her hosting and performing on that show. Black women single-handedly saved Saturday Night Live's 41st season. I mean, let's just think about it. Even that SZA song, The Big Boy, that show was about to be canceled until Megan Thee Stallion's Hottie Hospital went viral. Kiki made her pregnancy debut, and then all of a sudden the SZA song is now downloaded on Spotify. Shout out to Ego Wodum. I had talked about her in a video about a year or two ago. But anyway, Black women single-handedly saved Saturday Night Live, and everybody's looking for the next Quinta Brunson. So if I were her, I wouldn't even bother. I wouldn't even bother with hip-hop anymore. She was a special guest of Team Red Bull, who ended up winning the American Grand Prix for Formula One. That's the wealthiest group of people. That's the wealthiest playground you'll ever be on. Right? She went from being part of Team Red Bull, right? Part of their promotion squad, to being on the cover of Forbes. There's nothing that hip hop can give for her or do for her anymore. And if I were in her shoes, I would not even bother to even make another album. Seriously, I would really focus on a television career, focus on creating my business connections. It's funny because Nicki Minaj had the same kind of exposure because she was dating Lewis Hamilton, who is the most decorated driver in the history of Formula One. It was interesting because he said the reason why he liked her is because of her desire to be number one. And even if he was a jerk and with Napoleon syndrome, which he probably was, because he's probably 5'3" on a good day, But even I would have hung around just for access to that network. I mean, just the cars you can get access to for being with Mercedes Golden Boy. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I just think Nikki really she fumbled the bag on that one. So yeah, because even if it didn't work out, I would have taken advantage of that. Because there's no way I'd be in my 40s competing with girls half my age to make a hip hop record. Like, we could literally walk away from these hip hop careers. I mean, in this economy, the women who I would most like to, if I were in their shoes, the women who I would most likely like to grab and shake would probably be the women who've been at the same job for the longest period of time and never really done too much. I just have a lot of colleagues, friends, cousins who have just been in the same job and they've never done anything else but that job. And, you know, you're there, you're getting your little 2%, 3%, 5%, sometimes raises. And now you're the higher earning person in a lower tiered position. So now, as all of this talk of layoffs are coming, you're going to be one of the first ones to get the axe. And that happens a lot to us as Black women because we don't take the leadership role. We don't make those lateral moves. We don't climb the ladder. We don't play the office politics games as well as we should. And then we end up, you know, overqualified for the next job, but not qualified to climb the ladder and sometimes not even wanting it. So I just think that right now, if you find yourself in that position, this is the time to shake yourself loose. If I was in your shoes, I would shake myself loose and I'd find out the next lateral move I can make. I'd find out the next skill building opportunity I had. I'd try to get in where I'd fit in, because a lot of companies, instead of hiring new, and they still have the same problems from the Great Resignation. Don't let this fool you. Unemployment is relatively low for them to be calling this a recession. Okay. I would see what kind of moves I could make within my company, and I would see what kind of things I could do to make myself indispensable. I would see what I can do. I mean, even if you want to deal with people less, if you want to deal with people more, if you want to have a leadership role, if you want to go have a more of a behind the scenes role where you're not being talked to a lot, that's also a possibility. Like, ladies, I would start making some moves right now in my career, just because to be the highest paid person in a lower tiered position, you're just always going to be subject to layoffs. And I just would insulate myself if I were in your shoes. The next group of women would probably be some of you younger ladies, younger graduates, who have opportunities for advancement at very young ages. Make sure that you have your academic skills down, but also make sure that you invest in your leadership and diplomacy skills. Invest in that. Please invest in like those conflict resolution. Please invest in the leadership and project management courses. Please invest not just in the logistics of the job, but the fundamentals of leadership at that job. And I really think that that's what's really holding a lot of us back. We have the book smarts, but maybe not necessarily the people skills. So definitely get those right certifications that has to do with how you manage people, because I find that's what some of the younger graduates are missing. They have the book knowledge, they have the technical ability, but they don't have the leadership and diplomacy skills. And I understand that a lot of that is learned on the job, but I really feel that there is enough courses and publications that can help you better master that skill. And so if I were in your shoes and I was a young woman, a young graduate, a young professional who maybe had an advanced degree or is going to go into an advanced degree program, I'd make sure that I'd get some management courses and some management skills down before I take on that next promotion. And also for young women, when it comes to financial advice, when it comes to your financial future, when it comes to your investments, when it comes to your home buying purchase, I would make sure that I'm listening to the right people. If I were in your shoes, I would listen to the right people. I'm going to give you an example. My job, we offer the standard $5,400 tuition reimbursement rate that's untaxed, like most companies who offer tuition reimbursement do. But we offer an additional tuition support program through our employer that can help, assistants, vocational nurses, anyone who's in a support career who may want to level up to becoming part of the clinical staff or part of our lead or part of the clinical staff who wants to be part of leadership management staff. So we have those type of programs and abilities. Now, there's a young licensed vocational nurse at the job who people have been saying that we should get her to be an RN, a registered nurse. And then she's like, well, I really don't know because I don't want to take on any student loans. And that's when we started talking about the award. And, another young nurse who is looking into that same exact program, another aide, she was like, well, there's these accelerated programs that, that they're accepting us into, and I've been using it and I've been doing it. And she's like, yeah, well, my boyfriend and student loans and blah, blah. I was like, he must be listening to the manosphere, talking about some Black women's student loans. And so we just kind of looked at her salary, looked at the goals, looked at what and it turns out this fool who's telling her that she shouldn't be taking out student loans got a 21% interest rate on the rims on her car because he drives her car, right? 21% interest rate on rims on her car, right? So I'm like, no student loan. Like, you're talking about a taxable tuition award, and no student loan has no 21% interest rate unless you put in your tuition on a credit card. Like, what the heck? You know what I'm saying? And this is that piece of advice my dad gave me a long time ago that, let me tell you something, the older you get, the more your parents' advice makes sense, was don't ever let a pocket change nigga make your $100 decisions, okay? If somebody is not a homeowner, don't take any homeowner advice don't take any home buying or home shopping advice from them, okay? If somebody is not, a well-educated, high-earning person, don't take advice about education and earnings and salary negotiation from them. If somebody is not in the place where you're aspiring to be or think about aspiring to be, don't take their advice. Like, don't ever let a pocket change nigga make your $100 decisions, like, ever. They're in no position to even talk about it because I'm telling you, there's a bunch of people out here afraid of student loans, but they sitting here broke and using payday loans and high interest credit cards or high interest auto loans to finance things. Like, you know what I mean? Can't get their medical bills paid, but they talk about some student loans when the reality, the investment in your education has a clear payoff. We showed her what she's earning now versus what she could be earning in the next 3 to 5 years, depending on how quick she finishes the program. So I'm just telling you, ladies, like, don't ever let a pocket change nigga make your $100 decisions. Like, find out if somebody owns real estate, and you want to be a homeowner, talk to them. Don't talk to somebody else. Don't talk to people who are not high earners or say that they're high earners doing something else, because your idea of high earning might be something completely different. Some of us think content creators, these manosphere content creators, are high earners, and I'm going to tell you that they're not. Like, I've gotten AdSense checks, and they are not lucrative at all. So even if they're, and I'm just seeing how much people think YouTubers make versus how much they actually make. Yeah, that's not real money, y'all. It's not real money. I mean, if you are a hobbyist, I definitely think that now is the time to jump onto YouTube and really start focusing on that and start focusing on building up your platform, building up those affiliate links so that you could possibly have some passive income in the future when your hobby takes off. But other than that, I mean, YouTube's not lucrative. It's not. You might think it is, but it's really not lucrative as you think. I mean, even some of the people who've made the most money on YouTube, it's because YouTube is a commercial for a service they've already offered. So I'm just saying, ladies, really, really, don't let a pocket change nigga make your $100 decisions. Basically, ladies, there is nothing that I can tell you what to do. I should not want to tell you what to do. I have no desire to tell you what to do. But if you do ask me, this is what I would say. I would say to make sure that you're always on the up and up, to actually go where you're celebrated. So, unfortunately, Megan Thee Stallion was too burned out to pursue some of the television opportunities that are being offered to her. But after she's well rested and after this situation, she should definitely take them up on it, because hip hop is not it for you young ladies. And make sure that you're upping your skills and upping your game in every single facet in life, and make sure you're getting mentorship from experienced professionals or people who've accomplished what they've set out to accomplish. Don't listen to people who are just haters just because they're close by and in proximity. And if you've been in your career for a while, this is that time. So if you think you want to transition, if you think you want to move up, if you think you want to move out, if you think you want to supplement your income, if you think you want a side hustle, this is really the time to do it. This recession is an odd one, but just because it's a slowdown doesn't mean that your goals can be stopped. So keep going, keep looking forward, and I'll see you in the next video.